Welcome to this very special edition of Passionate Living. You may notice that my hair looks a little crimped in 80s style today, and that's in honor of our special guest, Grammy Award Winning superstar Kenny Loggins. I'll be sharing part 2 of an interview from his beautiful Montecito, California home. Then get ready for a magical winter journey through the Erie County Botanical Gardens. Learn about the healing power of plants, and later on, take a guided relaxation journey to the gardens after dark. But first, let's continue to recognize Black History Month with the story of Reverend Nash and his family, who influenced an entire community with their passion to empower the lives of others.
This is the Nash House Museum, and we are in the Michigan Street African American Heritage Corridor. So Reverend Nash was born in Logan, Virginia in 1868. He graduated from what was then Whelan Seminary, and is now Virginia Union University in Richmond, Virginia. His first job, the first job he got after graduation was to become the pastor of the Michigan Avenue Baptist Church. And that was in 1892. In 1925, he married Miss Jackson and they moved into this home. It was 36 Potter Street at the time.
Oh, okay, so this was a different...
Right. After Reverend Nash retired, the city renamed the street Nash. Okay. So now it's 36 Nash Street. So if you can tell by what's on the wall here, this was on the church when Reverend Nash was pastor there, and you see it lists his home address, 36 Potter Street.
Here, I'll let you go up first. We'll follow you. So this is
Reverend
Nash and his family.
Right, Mrs. Nash and Jesse Jr. in front of the house.
Oh, that's a great shot.
This is a wax figure, full size, of Mrs. Frances Jackson Nash. The kitchen was her domain. She was an excellent cook.
Right.
Used this stove, baked cakes and pies that she often sold to restaurants. Mrs. Nash, of course, was at one time the superintendent of the Sunday school, ran a sewing group at the church. She was a pianist. She was a musician. She was not the church official musician, but she could play music. Right. Now, her brother, Raymond Jackson, was the co-founder of the Colored Musicians Union. Okay. And the union, of course, formed the club.
Yeah.
So they were a musical family, and they were all connected. So within these 2 blocks of Michigan Avenue, you have families related, families connected to each other through the church and through the club. And
they were the real shakers and movers of the community. Those were the people that were changing and influencing the entire community.
Exactly.
To lift it. Yeah.
So in here was where they would entertain guests. Now for entertainment in this room, they had the Victrola. And these are some of their records.
The old 78s my dad had.
Yes. And not like a young kid told me once I was doing a tour, he said, "Ooh, that's a big CD." Like,
they break very easily, these old 78s, I found out.
It's coming back now, so maybe they'll know what it is. But we had it repaired because a lot of people haven't heard how Victrola sounds in person, except, maybe on TV or old movies. And these are their records. Now, there's no volume control on here.
Right.
So if you want it louder, you just open up the doors.
Oh, that's great. I love this.
From here, we walk into Reverend Nash's study.
Oh, he scared me for a minute. There's Reverend Nash, I see him.
Yes.
This is beautiful.
So the one thing you notice about being in his study is lots and lots of books.
He was very well read.
He was well read, and he was a minister at the time. You say 1892. Very few African American ministers had gone to theology school. He helped to co-found the Buffalo Urban League, the Buffalo NAACP, and the Buffalo Michigan YMCA. So he was quite involved in the community. His whole goal was to make sure that his church would never be in debt. And because of that, you see what he had, Michigan Street Preservation, the Michigan Church, cards. He had a membership card. This person agreed to pay 25 cents a month in tithes.
That's amazing. Like I say, what an accomplished
Yes.
man, and what an influence he had on the entire community. Sharon, thank you so much for showing me around today. What a beautiful piece of the history here in Western New York, and to walk through the home of someone who did so much good in this community.
Oh, you're quite welcome. And we are so proud of the work that has been done to preserve the legacy of Reverend Nash.
And to George Arthur and Bishop Henderson,
Yes.
who just recently passed, and to you and all of the amazing people who are keeping the museum going, and the Colored Musicians Club and the church. I mean, thank you. Thank you for
you're quite
being
welcome.
part of something so critical,
Right.
so vital.
It's a rich history in Buffalo.
It really is.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Boy, you got to give me fire. So why don't you do that, baby? I'm alright. Nobody worry about me. You got to give me a fire.
I've been blessed to know this next guest for over 25 years. And through the years, I've always been in awe as I've watched Kenny Loggins wow audiences all over the world and inspire them with his amazing music. Join us now for part 2 of an interview from his home in Montecito, California. Kenny, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kat. It's good to be here.
Now you have lived the most amazing life. So many people have listened to your music, love your music because of the soulfulness of the heart.
The stuff that reaches the most people, the music of mine that I think reaches the most people, is the stuff when I dig in the deepest and try to get in touch with whatever's working on me.
Right.
And the other night, my lady and I watched, Lisa and I watched the Christmas Chronicles, which I had never seen. And I found myself weeping, and I thought, okay, something's up here. It's not that good a movie.
Right.
And I realized that it's just the situation we're in, that I really can't be with my family this year, that we're doing the best we can. We talk. I have a new grandchild. Crosby had a little boy, so now Crosby's got my Crosby.
Yeah.
Has a little boy named Boomy and a 5-year-old daughter named Pfeiffer.
I met Pfeiffer. I was over at their house. She is adorable.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. She's the sunniest little kid.
Oh.
And we rarely actually get to be in each other's presence.
Now, I know the holidays were always a big time for you when the kids were young. Are they still now? I remember I was at your house once, and you used to make this amazing Christmas village for Hannah every year.
Yeah, she's coming over today. She's 23.
Yeah.
She's coming over, and we're going to start on the village tonight.
She was about maybe 10 or 11 at this time when I was over at the play, and we made cookies, Christmas cookies in the kitchen.
Oh my God.
And we were laughing and having such a great time that we forgot about one of the batches of cookies. And so smoke was pouring out. And you're like, guys, I'm buying cookies. I don't think I'm insured enough for the two of you to make Christmas cookies.
Yeah.
And she was just loved Christmas. That was such a big thing with you and her for the holidays.
Yeah, that's, and I think she's old enough now to be able to step back into that tradition comfortably.
Beautiful. Is she singing yet? She has the most beautiful voice.
Oh, she's really doing great. She's writing, this particular period of time has been good for her creativity.
Right.
She's kind of shy anyway, so she'll spend a lot of time in her room writing. She plays piano and guitar. And
That's
she's got a
an
great voice.
amazing voice.
I love her.
Too. Very beautiful voice.
Yeah, she records as Hana Aluna.
Still become a running bucket in your hand. I need a little bit of water as fast as I can.
Now you do so much to mentor young people as well. I got to go that one year. I went with one of your friends. We went to see you. What was it? Teen Star?
Teen-
Okay, Teen Star in Santa Barbara. And you basically work with all these young people prior to the show, where you work with them on their songs, choices.
That year I was a mentor. So when they get to the finalists, I think
Right.
there's like 6 or 7 finalists. And then they each one come in one at a time, and I listen to them sing. I listen to their song choices, and sometimes I'll make suggestions that maybe the song choice is not right for that particular artist,
Right.
and I'll help them. And then this year, I even went through the process of recording some of them, so they could really hear themselves and see how they were presenting themselves, and really take it that extra step. And I think it's, in a way, it's partly because I wish that I would have had that in my life at that time.
Right.
You know, somebody to really work with. And looking back, I kind of did. I had a guitar teacher, a really great guy named Rod Ruggles, who was very encouraging for me. And I really learned to start playing guitar and singing in his den, you know,
Wow.
working on folk music.
That's
And but I think it's really important to have an older person come in and really help validate what you're doing.
You wrote one of my favorite songs, which is Danny's song, and you wrote that. How old were you? I couldn't believe
17 when I wrote that.
old when you
Yeah.
wrote that song.
Thank you.
People smile and tell me I'm the lucky one. We've just begun. Think I'm gonna have a son.
That's remarkable to have that level of soulfulness at 17.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
But one of my big influences musically was Tim Hardin, who wrote "If I Were a Carpenter," and a couple other things. I loved his album, and he never really made mass popularity, but he was a great songwriter and became an influence on my writing.
Wow. Yeah. I remember when you told me that, and I was like, you were how old? You were 17 when you wrote that? It's not,
Yeah.
not
That
as
and-
long as 17-year-old would.
That and House of Pooh Corner. Now, you kind of expect House of Pooh Corner from a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh,
the
you
Danny
wrote House
song
of
was
Pooh Corner?
Danny.
You
The
wrote
Danny
that
in that song was my brother Danny.
Okay.
Yeah. So much of the song was taken, inspired by a letter he wrote me when his son was born.
Oh, how beautiful. If you
Yeah.
could give one little bit of advice to everybody watching about living your dreams, living your passions before you go today. So many people, especially young people, have dreams, and you lived yours. You lived a life of dreams. You never, I'm sure there were moments where you felt like you compromised certain decisions, but you never compromised your core of what you loved and what you do. What advice would you give somebody to live their passion?
Obviously, we fall back on follow your heart, but you know, a lot of people don't know what that means. They don't get a sense of what their heart is telling them. I like to say, go where the joy is. Go where you really feel that spark that becomes a timeless thing for you. If you want to be artistic and you move into your art, and the next thing you know, it's been 4 hours, take a look at what that is. Take a look at how that feels. Is there some way you can incorporate that into what makes you a living? Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't.
Kenny, thank you so very, very much for joining me today on Passionate Living. It has been such a joy to catch up with you. I miss you.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while. It's been
Yeah.
a while. I haven't seen you out in Santa Barbara in a while.
Yeah.
To make a trip out there, I miss it very, 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 very much.
I know how much you love the snow, so.
Yeah, right.
Buffalo's lucky to have you.
Bring a tear of joy to my eyes to tell me everything's worth it. Be alright, yeah.
I am here today with my very dear friend, David Schwartz, and David runs the Botanical Gardens here in Western New York. And talk about a passion for what you do and how you're making a difference in the community. I'd love to have you just take me for a little walk and talk through this place.
Okay.
I love being in here. This is so relaxing.
Oh, it's a great place to be for a lot of different reasons, but this structure was part of Buffalo's golden days. It opened to the public in 1900, so it's 120 years old. The Botanical Garden Society took over responsibility for maintaining the collection and the structure in 2004. And since then, there's been a remarkable change. More and more people come to visit. Our mission is clearly stated. We utilize social media so that we can talk about this great asset and the important role that plants play to ensure the sustainability of life on our planet. Sometimes we take plants for granted, but without them, we can't survive. And so today we're in this main palm dome. It's 67 feet tall.
And it's right here.
It's right here. And when people walk in here, the first thing you hear is they look up and response is, wow. And it is a wow moment. And obviously when you walk in here, one of the things that you immediately feel is peace and tranquility. Plants have a significant healing nature. And so a lot of people, when they come here, are coming here just to absorb the beauty, the sounds, the smells, and just to relax.
And that makes so much sense. There's actually been books and
Yep.
writings on the healing power of plants. Not even consuming them, which we focus on with herbology and everything, but actually just being
Right?
in the realm of nature and plants.
You feel different. There's a soothing nature, and of course in the background we have this wonderful
Yes.
music that only enhances that incredible experience. Yeah, I'd like to take you in this direction to show you the incredible corpse flower. Many people are familiar with this plant. It's also known as the stinky plant. And we have two of them on display here. One is Morticia and the other is Fester, and they're in a leaf stage right now. So you'll see Morticia here on the right and
Right.
Fester over here. And you also, if you look closely, Fester seems like he's losing a leaf. And he is, because eventually this will decay. The entire structure of both Morticia and Fester will decay, and then the plant will lie dormant. And we will take it out of here, it'll go into one of the grow houses, and it'll sit there all by itself, regaining energy to the bulb. And sometime in the future, maybe 2 years from now, maybe 6, it will push up a flower. Morty bloomed, it was 8 feet tall.
Wow.
And it stunk like the back of a garbage truck. It was terrible. But people came here over
Just to
be here.
Wow.
Over the weekend when Morty flowered, we had 10,000 people
Wow.
show up to smell. Now the
That's
smell only
amazing.
lasts 24 to 36 hours.
Amazing, that many people would come just to smell.
Well, it goes to point out
Yeah.
how unique this plant is.
Right.
Now, when this place opened in 1900,
Right.
all of the palms and the plants that were in here were unique because most of the residents from Buffalo didn't travel the world. However, you can buy palms and all sorts of
Right.
plants at a local nursery or Lowe's or any of those places, but you can't buy too many corpse flowers.
You light up when you share the history of this place. How did you end up doing this?
Well, I've always been interested in gardening as a little boy, and I do have my own vegetable garden. I take care of my own landscaping, so it's been always of interest to me. I was asked to come here to help maintain or solve some significant financial problems.
Right.
And that was I was signed up for 5 years, and now this is my 11th year. And my passion and commitment to this place has only grown dramatically.
That's beautiful.
And these two houses that we're in now, houses 2 and 3, when I got here were literally falling down. It was unsafe. If the wind reached 50 miles an hour, we had to shut this house down.
Wow.
These two houses, 2 and 3. And so I worked very closely with the county to convince them that we needed to restore them. And so the houses were completely restored in 2016-17 at a cost of about $4.1 million.
Wow.
And everything you see in here is all new. The society paid for the internal structure, the county paid for the envelope. So this is our cactus house, and horticulture staff are in here right now,
Right.
setting up for Gardens After Dark. And
What is that? I've heard about that. I want to come to Gardens After Dark.
Gardens After Dark, and you have to go on our website to get the dates and so on, but generally from 6 to 9 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
We use a lot of underlighting and overlighting to accentuate the plants. We're working to create an opportunity for the public to come in to experience this beautiful gardens in the evening, and we did remarkably well with attendance in December, and this show begins over the next tonight and runs through February.
Wow.
So we encourage people to come in, and you'll be very impressed. The comments that we've gotten have been really, really encouraging. So this is a medicinal garden, and we have plants in here that all are used for healing. Medicines are derived from them. And we've developed a collaboration with Mercy Hospital, which is a neighbor of ours, not too far away, and D'Youville School of Pharmacy.
And this is one of my passions, obviously, is plant medicine,
Right.
using the whole plant to heal our bodies, Mama Nature, the whole thing.
Yep.
So this speaks to me.
We only recently, since the beginning of the year, have allowed some volunteers to come in on a very structured basis, working with the horticulture department. We've had upwards of 500 volunteers here over the years who donated in 2019 some 35,000 volunteer hours.
Wow.
With our small staff, volunteers are critically important. We've had to kind of bring everyone on the staff into the mix to help maintain this, but our horticulture staff and others do a great job to make sure that an experience here is well worth the visit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Passionate Living. This show is for you, our amazing viewers, to inspire you to live your life with more joy, fulfillment, and peace. Please let us know if you have any thoughts, ideas, or great stories you'd like to share through our website at passionateliving.com. And I'd like to thank everyone who was a part of putting this show together, including our sponsors in WBBZ TV in Buffalo, New York. And a big thanks to you for tuning in tonight and sharing this adventure with me. Now, sit back, take a deep breath, and for the next few moments, enjoy a relaxing visit to the Botanical Gardens After Dark event. For a longer version of this meditative segment, go to our YouTube channel, passionateliving.tv. And until next week, remember to live passionately.